The integumentary system. The integumentary system controls temperature regulation, vitamin production, and protection and senses. Skin is part of the integumentary system. It is a layered protector that covers every human and animal from head to toe. The first layer of skin is the epidermis. The cells of this layer have a coating of keratin. This is a waterproofing mechanism that helps protect the tissues that lie underneath. The cells of this layer are always dividing to replace dead or lost cells. Some cells produce a pigment called melanin to protect against ultraviolet rays. Beneath the epidermis is the dermis. This is a layer of connective tissues that prevents the skin from tearing and return to its natural state after being stretched. This layer also includes hair follicles, blood vessels, nerve cells, muscle fibers, and sweat glands. Below the dermis is layers of fatty tissues that make up the rest of the several layers of skin. A career that specializes in skin is a dermatologist. A dermatologist makes about $283,000 annually and needs about 12 years of schooling. As said before, the integumentary system controls temperature regulation. On a hot summer day, if you look out at the people, you'll see that most of them are sweating. This is a way for the body to try and cool down. The same goes for goosebumps, except it's cold outside when you get goosebumps. This system also controls vitamin production. For vitamin production, the skin responds to ultraviolet rays from the sun by producing vitamin D. The vitamin D increases the absorption of calcium into the bloodstream and helps the formation of proper bone structures. Protection and senses are another component of this system. If the body is hurt, then the nerve cells in the dermis sends a message to the brain so it can react accordingly. When the dermis and epidermis have been cut, blood will begin to appear. When enough blood flows out, the blood will begin to clot and form a scab. White blood cells move toward the wound to make sure that no infectious bacteria enter the body. Hair and nails are also a part of this system. Both hair and nails have a coating of keratin and develop epithelial cells. Hair grows from narrow cavities in the dermis. Cells at the base of this cavity are created, making the older cells get pushed up, thus making hair grow. Each hair follicle has a sebaceous gland that produces oil for the hair. Too much oil in the gland can cause swelling or acne. Finger and toenails grow from specialized epithelial cells at the base of each nail. Cells at the very base of the nail are created, and the nail grows by compacting dead cells and pushing out. The nervous system. Whenever you stub your toe, you almost immediately feel pain. This happens because the nerve cells in your foot tell your brain that you have just felt pain, and that you need to stop for a moment and tend to your pain. The neurons in your foot make up a small portion of the large neuron system in your body. A nerve cell consists of three main parts: the dendrites, a cell body, and an axon. The dendrites receive signals called impulses from other neurons and conduct impulses to the cell body. Each neuron contains several dendrites. The cell body has the nucleus of the neuron and many other organs. Axons carry the nerve impulse from the cell body to another neuron and muscle. There are three kinds of neurons: sensory neuron, interneurons, and motor neurons. Sensory neurons send impulses from receptors in the skin and sense organs to the brain and spinal cord. Sensory neurons signal interneurons that are found by the spine and brain. Interneurons carry the impulse to motor neurons, which carry the impulses away from the brain and spine to a gland or muscle. Arc is a nerve pathway that consists of a sensory neuron, an interneuron, and a motor neuron. The brain is not involved with this. A nerve impulse is an electrical charge traveling the length of a neuron. An impulse results from a stimulus such as a cut or a loud noise. A synapse is a small gap between an axon of one neuron and a dendrite of another. When an action potential reaches the end of an axon, small sacs called vesicles carrying neurotransmitters fuse with the plasma membrane and release a neurotransmitter by exocytosis. Humans have two main parts of their nervous system: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord and coordinates all of the body's activities. The peripheral nervous system consists of sensory and motor neurons that transmit information to and from the central nervous system.